Hey everyone, this is Sage Valentine, and this is my review of Mad Men Season 7, Episode 5, The Runaways. I don't know which was worse this episode. Megan's idea to kick out Don's niece, Stephanie, on the grounds that she thought that something was going on between them, and that's how Stephanie was pregnant. Michael Ginsburg losing his mind and cutting off his own nipple over that computer they just put in SLCP. Hopefully I'm saying the company name correct. Lou having a fit over his comics, or Don making a play to completely screw over Cutler and and Lou during their meeting with American Commander Cigarette. Yeah, it was Commander Cigarettes. This episode was crazy. Rather than going through it, do the whole rigmarole I always do, I'm just gonna go through a few parts. It was crazy watching Peggy being really nice to Don after she was mean to him the first couple episodes. I was like, Peggy's trying to play nice. Trying to be cordial. It's pretty cool. Michael Ginsburg is obsessed with this computer. The computer's making sounds. It's causing him to be sexually aroused by Stan. He's turning gay. Then all of a sudden in an episode he thinks he likes Peggy. He's trying to force himself on Peggy. Then we get to a certain part of the episode, he cuts off his nipple. I'm like, I think he's giving her like some jewelry because he's like, you know what, I have feelings for you. Turns out this fool cut off his nipple, had the nerve to go to the ER and say, could you cut off my nipple? And they're just looking at him like, we'll put it back on, we're not taking it off. And then he puts it in a box and gives it to Peggy. So Peggy was basically like, listen, I'm going to go out of this room, you stay here, I'm going to call the nut house. Damn, I was like, Michael Ginsburg was kind of cute too, but he's like a screw loose over this computer. But what he's saying about the computer taking away their jobs, he's not far-fetched about that, because eventually, as we know, computers do take over people's jobs. And that whole meeting between Lou and Cutler in that room was kind of suspect. I don't know if they were gay, but they were planning something funny, and Michael picked it up. Too bad he kind of lost his mind. So Lou is a fledgling comic book artist, and he left his picture in the copier and all his stuff, and of all people to find it, Stan Rizzo finds it, makes a whole joke about it to the point where it's like everybody's laughing, Don's laughing, Lou doesn't like it, ends the whole meeting, and it's just like, well, you're going to do all the work, and you're going to sit here and do all this work until the evening, so you might as well order dinner. So everybody's walking out. Stan's like pushing the other dude. Is that guy's name Ed? The new guy, the cute guy? He might be named Ed. Pushing him and the whole 9 yard. Don gets a call from Stephanie. Stephanie, for those who don't know, Stephanie is the niece of, I believe her name is Emma. Is her name Emma? Those who don't know, Don took on, or actually his name was Dick Grayson. He took on the alias of Don Draper after Don Draper died during the war. Right next to him, just like it was a freak accident. I guess I would have reacted the same way too. Took his identity, and Don's real wife found that out. Needless to say, they became friends. They had like this weird friendship love fest going on. She died of cancer, so he promised to take care of her niece. Well, the niece calls Don, says that she's pregnant, she needs help. So he sends her to Megan. And Megan's supposed to be, watching her. All of a sudden, I guess because of Lou and his crazy, Megan decides, I'm going to get rid of this girl and just go on and give her some money, when that's not what Don wanted. And I know that Don's upset, and even after, the end of the episode and everything, Don was still a little bit upset about what Megan did. And did anybody notice that chick, Amy? What the hell's going on between Megan and Amy? Like, are they bedmates? Are they having sex? Because something seemed off in that party with the dude, and the way Megan was dancing with the dude. Like, does she have those parties and they have, like, weirdo orgies? The kind that, like, they had in the 70s that my mom used to talk about? People I know of that are older used to talk about, Plato's Retreat type thing. I don't know, but Amy, yeah. And Stephanie took it, but Stephanie really Stephanie was just there for the money. Stephanie didn't seem like I think she wanted to see Don, but really she wanted that money, and she went off because her baby daddy, yeah, that's pretty much what he is, her baby daddy, or the father of her child, is in jail for weed. So yeah, that whole thing. And I think what really, I think that, like, Megan having these parties and stuff, like, Megan is having this whole other life outside of Don, and she's welcoming him home, and it's like in that scene in the episode, whereas Don's like watching Megan dance with this guy, and then Amy comes up and is talking to her. It's really uncomfortable, not even for me, but it just felt like a really uncomfortable scene. And I'm like, Megan, what are you doing? I was like, wait, what the hell is Amy doing? I'm like, what are y'all doing? Then all of a sudden, to make a long story short, the next thing you know, Don is getting kissed by Megan and Amy, and honestly, like, he went with the flow, but those first couple minutes, he looked, I don't know if he looked afraid or uncomfortable, and I was like, Don, I'm here with you, dude. Totally here with you. Like, Don wasn't all, he went with it, had sex with her, but that's not his thing, and I don't think he'll be doing that again anytime soon. Like, Don's just all up in the air. Like, this whole season, as I've said before, is just up in the air for poor Don Draper. Betty, because I don't know if I mentioned Betty in the beginning. Betty decides during this conversation, because Henry, her husband, is like trying to, talk to these people at these houses. They must be all these rich benefactors. And Betty pops out of nowhere being like pro-Vietnam. And apparently she didn't know Henry was anti-Vietnam. And it's this whole thing going on. And he supports Nixon. So I'm assuming maybe he's turning a little bit liberal. So I know he's Republican, so maybe he's a little tiny bit liberal, just a little bit. Betty doesn't like it. Betty walks out. I'm like, okay, well, all right. Then the next thing you know, Betty is having a fight with Lou. Poor little Bobby's in the middle of it. I'm like, damn, Bobby, poor baby. And Bobby's having stomach cramps. Bobby's talking to his sister, Sally. Sally comes home after having some type of fight, like fisticuffs with somebody. Damn near almost broke her nose. And rather than being worried about whether Sally's okay, Betty's more concerned with the fact that she messed up her face. And the way Sally gets back at her, oh my gosh. I'm like, wow. Just wow. It's like, Sally, yes. She was like, where would mom be without her perfect nose? I'm like, singe. Then she's like, she wouldn't find a man like you to Henry. I'm like, damn. And then turn around, she'd be nothing. And don't worry about me finding a man. I'll have you to keep me in line. I'm like, burn, singe, damn, burn. Like, yes, like, wow. Sally's getting a little salty. All right, Sally. And I feel so sorry for little Bobby, because Bobby's stuck with Betty and Henry, and they're fighting. They're just acting up and acting crazy, and just, I don't know why they didn't discuss this before they got married. But then again, if you remember that marriage was pretty quick. It was basically like Betty trying to get back at Don for Don and his whoring ways, philandering ways. Crazy. And Bobby, like, he goes to see Sally because they won't let him see Sally since she's back home for a bit. So Sally wants to run away, go back to school. Bobby wants to come with her. And she's just like, listen, she was like, Mom and Dad won't let you leave. Yeah, you're too little. So basically, we get the impression that not only is Sally out of that house, when Bobby gets old enough, he'll be out. And then probably when Jean gets old enough, he'll be out. Betty is a terrible mother. So to add to her little soliloquy, or her little sadness last week about being or the week before last about being or not even the week before last, episode 3 about, is she a bad mother? Is she a good mother? She's a crappy mother. Horrible mother. Just the way she was talking to Sally, that's why Sally was sassing her. Terrible mother. So, at that party in California, Megan's little party, here comes Harry walking in, and Harry, media Harry, he somehow, like, they're at the party, then he has this girl, then he and Don end up at some type of bar or whatever. Harry basically says that the whole goal of some type of thing was that Cutler and Lou were going to try to get these American cigarettes people, not American cigarettes, I keep saying American cigarettes, it's actually American tobacco, but these Commander cigarettes people, and basically it's Don's death wish at the company, basically that if they get this company, Don has to go, because if you don't remember what happened in season 6, at the end, Don wrote some letter denouncing all cigarettes, or all the, because I think he was mad because the cigarette people, was it Lucky Strike? Some mess happened, Lucky Strike left them, some old crazy thing, and then if I'm wrong, let me know, but I think it had something to do with Lucky Strike, and then they started talking about the Surgeon General and all this stuff. So Don decides to come back to the East Coast, busts up in this meeting with Lou and Cutler, and basically tell the cigarette people, like, listen, he was like, he said to sweeten the deal, if they get this, they won't have to fire me, I'll quit. And he was like, wouldn't you like, he said, because I mentioned something about American tobacco, he's like, aren't they still your rivals? Wouldn't you like to be able to, I don't think he says anything about getting back at them, but he says basically, like, let me see what he says, because I'm like, I don't want to go off the top of my head, then I don't truly remember, but he says, basically he did what he did because he was trying to save the company, and he says that, what would your friends at American Tobacco think if you made me apologize for what I did and work for you? And they're kind of iffy. Meanwhile, like I said, Michael Ginsburg, they took him out. He's in the nut house after all the crazy he did with Peggy. Like, he was losing it. He was on point, but still losing it. And Cutler and Lou, Don's out there hailing a cab, and he gets him a cab. And Cutler's like, you think this is going to save you? And Don just smiles and gets back in the taxi. So, sure, Don is down, but he's definitely not out. So this is the one episode where Don doesn't end sad. He actually ends on a high note. I guess that uncomfortable orgy kind of helped out. But anywho, guys, I know this is an early Mad Men review because I just downloaded it today because I was in the city, and I was like, let me go download this on my iPod Touch and watch it. I'm trying to do this before 24. So these videos will probably be out back to back. But anyway, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'll have a review later, I guess next week, of episode 6. I'll also have a review of Survivor Wednesday, Hannibal on Friday. And I'm trying to watch Rosemary's Baby because I caught the last hour, because Once Upon a Time, that ending, not even gonna give it away with you, but it was a good ending. So thank you guys for watching. You take care. Have a great day. I'm about to go and watch 24 because my man Jack Bauer's on. Definitely check out that review as well. And there's so many good shows coming out on Fox that I'm gonna be going crazy this spring, this fall, trying to do all this. So thanks for tuning in. You guys take care. Rate, comment, and subscribe. I love you all. Love you all. Love all my subscribers. I'm a flustered mess. It was a good day. Take care, guys. I love you all. Bye, guys. Bye.